Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Naveed Ahmed, your friendly neighborhood brown boy coming at you from Queens, New York. You know the vibes. So I'm doing something different that I don't usually do, and I want to give it a try on YouTube. My YouTube channel is mostly going to be a place for, all things related to my music, but I do want to try, these sort of long form videos where I just kind of share my thoughts on topics that I think will bring value to, people who are trying to pursue a similar path, whether it's in music or some other, creative endeavor, and just kind of document where I am in my journey, and hopefully, any of my experiences and insight can bring some value to you guys. So today's video is called 5 Upsides of Pursuing a Creative Career. I'm mostly going to be speaking from my experience as an aspiring musician, but I think these 5 upsides that I'm going to share with you guys really apply to most creative and entrepreneurial endeavors. I will also be speaking largely from the context of having grown up in a first-generation Bangladeshi immigrant household where creative careers were strongly discouraged, and kids like us were strongly encouraged to pursue stable, professional, academically inclined careers, especially in STEM fields. That said, let's dive right into it. The first upside of pursuing a creative career that I want to talk about is you live every day with something to fight for. I think the biggest blessing about pursuing music is that I've never been bored. Like, I truly can't remember the last time that I would say, yo, I'm bored, because I always have something that I can and probably should be doing, and that always keeps me driven. That always, I always wake up every day with a sense of purpose. I feel like I have something to fight for because, my music, my art, my message is something I truly believe in, and it is something that I want to be able to share with the world. Having worked as a civil engineer full-time, I remember being in an office and kind of listening to the small talk that goes on around me, and it just feels so dry sometimes. You hear people talking about, oh, what'd you do this weekend? Oh yeah, just caught up on Game of Thrones, or whatever it is. And it's just not to say that there's anything wrong with that. Of course, people should live their lives and have their leisure time, but it's just, I really hear it in people's attitudes that they really aren't passionate about something or pursuing something outside of their, 9-to-5 job or whatever it is. It's as soon as they clock out, they kind of just do whatever. That touches on, larger issues within capitalism. Why are we forcing Americans to work so hard just to get by? And then we force them to be so exhausted all the time and have less time in their day that, we spend our time and we spend our limited time and money on things like partying, instant gratification, because we just want to escape from our realities of our work week. And I think that's definitely a downside to working the corporate life, assuming if it's a job that you're not super passionate about every day. Number 2, you won't be on your deathbed with the regret of not having chased your dreams. I feel like we all hear, especially older folks talk about this, where they regret not going full force on their dreams in their younger years. And obviously, I'm not at that age yet, so I can't personally attest to this, but I can definitely say that, that's not going to be me, for sure. Even if I were to eventually throw in the towel in regards to music and say, I gave music an honest shot, I wasn't finding, success in it, I'll go back to being an engineer. Obviously, first of all, music will always be a part of my life, and I'll always be creating and releasing music in some capacity. I would be at peace knowing that I gave a lot of my 20s, aka, the years of our lives where we can afford to be the most risk-oriented. Granted, there truly is no time limit or expiration date on when you can go all in for your dreams, but obviously, the younger you are, the more time you really do have, because generally speaking, as we get older, we have more responsibilities, be it financial responsibilities. If you end up getting married and having children of your own, at that point, you really have a lot of responsibilities, because at that point, you have lives that are dependent on you. We also, as a society, we also need to really dismantle these stigmas that, you need to know exactly what you want to do with your life out of college. It's hilarious to me that at 21, we're expected to know exactly what we want to do with our lives. You need to taste everything to find what you truly want to do with your life. And that way you won't end up being on your deathbed when you're older, being like, what if I tried this? Why didn't I ever try this thing that I was interested in? You don't want that to be you. The third upside to pursuing a creative career is that you have no ceiling on your growth. The beauty of entrepreneurship is that, when you're building a business or a brand, it can scale up and grow to as big as you are able to bring it. And I think this ties in with reason number one is like you always wake up with a goal that you can achieve. I'm sure at first your goal with your business is just to be able to live off of it and be able to do it full time, support yourself. Maybe then your goal is to be able to start a family. Maybe then your goal is to, achieve a certain level of revenue. And, you can always work towards something. And in my case as a music artist, like right now, I would love to, bare minimum, just be able to build my music to a point where it can support me full time. And then I would love to be able to, raise my own family someday through music. And then of course, I want to be able to take care of my parents as they get older. And then once I hit all those goals, it's like, you know what? Maybe I want to be able to achieve a #1 album. Whatever milestones exist. If you're working a salaried position at a company, you have to plan and budget your entire life based on your salary. If you're not pursuing anything else to, generate other sources of income for yourself, then you've placed a ceiling on your life, how much money you can spend, how much money you can save, how much wealth you can build. Even if you're not pursuing a whole business, like you should be looking up ways to generate, secondary sources of income for yourself. And that's why, the beauty of pursuing a creative or entrepreneurial field is that the sky is literally the limit. The fourth major upside about pursuing a creative career is that you have equity and ownership over something that you built from zero. The education system is obviously, a huge blessing, and so many of us, myself included, were privileged to be able to receive a good quality education in America. But I quickly have realized that, at the end of the day, the education system teaches you how to be a good employee. It doesn't really teach you to be a self-starter. It doesn't really teach you to be an owner. It doesn't really teach you to take ownership of your skill set, your ideas, what you have to offer the world. And I think ever since the pandemic, we have seen, unfortunately firsthand, that, with all the layoffs that happened, with all the businesses that closed down when the pandemic struck, a lot of people's lives were unfortunately turned upside down just because they were dependent on someone else's employment and someone else's salary. And unfortunately, we have seen that corporate America does not care about you, you can, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do you really want to give so much of your life, your energy, your worth to a company that if you were to drop dead tomorrow, they could replace you the next day? If your goal is to lead a fulfilling life, having ownership of a brand that encompasses your values and encompasses what you want to contribute to the world, that there's nothing, to me, that sounds like the ultimate victory. That's your legacy that you are building. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what do I want my legacy on this earth to be? And oftentimes, slaving away for some company that doesn't truly value you is not going to be an ultimately fulfilling legacy. And those are the things that I can tell people start to regret later in life if they don't put attention to that now while they're still young. And finally, the fifth upside to pursuing a creative or entrepreneurial career that I'm going to share with you guys is, okay, I want you to think about this phrase that I'm going to say, because this is the reason. Every day is Saturday. Think about that one for a second. It's okay, take a second. Every day is Saturday. What do you mean by this, Naveed? Think of it this way. Let's assume you work, a Monday through Friday job, 9 to 5. Monday through Thursday, you gotta wake up for work. You gotta sleep at a certain hour to wake up for work the next day. On Friday, you gotta wake up for work, but at least the rest of your day is up to you. On Sunday, you could wake up whenever you want, but you still gotta end your day by a certain time because you gotta wake up for work the next day. Saturday is, for many people, the only day of the week where every single hour of the day is up to you. Think about that. Why do so many people live for the weekend? They view the weekend, the end of their work week is such a huge celebration. They live for it. That's kind of sad in my opinion. Work makes up such a huge fraction of our entire lives, and to think that so many people spend that time waiting for it to be over, waiting to get, their temporary break from it, aka the weekend or, their days off. I think that's very sad. And as someone who's been unemployed from engineering for about 2 years now, I have experienced incredible personal, mental, financial, spiritual growth just from being able to give myself all this time. I've been able to grow as an individual in so many ways that I would have neglected had I still been bound to an office for 40 to 50 hours a week. And so I think the biggest upside in building your career, you know, your passion, your business, your brand, whatever it is that every minute of your day is up to you. Every day is Saturday. Yo, my camera died, so I'm filming this outro after the fact. But yeah, man, that's the video, guys. That is 5 upsides to pursuing a creative career. This is the first time I'm doing a video like this, so please let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know if you got any value from this video. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. And you're definitely going to want to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get the notifications. Wow, I'm officially a YouTuber now. I'm officially one of those. That's crazy. But yeah, no, if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to want to subscribe, because part 2 of this video is where I'm going to give you 5 downsides to pursuing a creative career. Because if you think this is all fun and games, you tripping, my guy. You are bugging. So stick around, because that part 2 video will be coming real soon. And until then, it's your friendly neighborhood brown boy. You know the vibes. Peace.